going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chucky! I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Oh, yeah, football. Yay, football. All right, football. Bengals already played. Let's move on. Let's watch some court. I've got a couple clips for you guys tonight. We've got two from Judge Garcia, one from a new judge, and then we're gonna finish it off with the fun traffic court. Is it traffic? I think it's traffic. Short one at the end. We'll find out. We'll find out. Well, anyways, first one's Judge Garcia. All right. Before I hit that play button, you guys know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
Let me get Oak Meadows versus Byron Williams.
Nationwide?
All right, Mr. Williams, I think was online. Yes.
Bam.
Okay, go ahead, Nationwide.
Yes, Your Honor, this is for non-payment of rent. Monthly rent is $967, none of which is subsidized. The defendant is owing a partial balance in June, $415, July and August in full. That's a total of $2,349, and that's strictly rent, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Williams, first of all, do you agree that your monthly rent is $967?
Yes, ma'am. They just changed it in the portal not so long last month. At the beginning of the lease, my rent was $967 as it says, but I was getting charged $1028. They just changed that in their system long ago.
Okay. And Mr. Williams, do you agree that the last payment was given in June?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything you can do or offer them to become current?
How much does he say? Cause that total it's wrong. That total is based on 1028 instead of 967 because the portal was wrong, and I reached out to them 2 months to tell them to change it back to the correct amount, and they never did.
Okay, hold on, let's do it. 967 for July, 967 August.
No, for July they had it for 1028, not 967. They just changed the portal. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Williams, I am doing the math right now at 967.
Okay.
Okay. I want to make sure it's correct. I'm listening to you. Let me do the math, okay?
Okay.
We got 967, which you said is your rent, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 967 for June, for July, 967 for August, and then 415 for June because you paid a partial. Okay.
I paid a partial because they said I had a credit because I paid too much in the beginning in May. In May, I made a payment of.
I don't know. Okay, hold on. So at 967 for July, August, and then your partial in June is your 2349. That's exactly what they were asking for. Okay. So what did you pay in June that you think you have a credit for?
No, in the beginning, in May, I paid 967, with 967, the lady at the office told me I had a credit of. She said I had a credit of. I can't recall. Ma'am, I have someone on my line who can help me out with this. Can I tag her in real quick? She do all my finance.
Can you
for
what?
me. I have someone on Zoom right now who will help me out with all the numbers, all the numbers that add up.
Who's on Zoom?
Her name, the daughter, my daughter's mother.
I don't. Who's on Zoom to help Mr. Williams?
Tisha.
I don't see no Letitia.
All right, give me 1 second, ma'am. Sorry about that.
And Your Honor, I think I can clarify some things here a little bit while the defendant is locating his assistants here.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, this guy's kind of hard to understand. He has I don't know what the relation is. I can't really understand what he's saying, but she's there and she's the angry one. She comes in like a wrecking ball, man. I mean, maybe she doesn't start that way, but she finishes that way. We're about to get a lot of yelling. No, yes, I saw everything you said before the live started. And yes, I am a Bengals fan. Yeah, not talking about football really right now. Luckily, my fantasy football team did well, but the Bengals did not. Bengals did not play well at all today. They didn't play terrible. They just couldn't score any points.
There was a credit going into June. The defendant overpaid in May. That generated a credit which left him with the balance of 415.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm on
Okay,
here.
hold on. Everybody, just give me 1 minute. Okay, give me 1 minute. I hear you, ma'am. What did you say? Nationwide, he had a credit in May of how much?
It was $612 or $617 in May, and that went towards balances in June, which leaves them $415 in just the rent amount. And then there was an issue with the rent being charged. They were charging him $1,028 monthly, but the lease is signed for $976, and that should have been corrected already on his resident portal.
No, they
Or
never did till
967.
months later.
Yeah, right. So on our bank accounts, I have all of the papers right here. They did change it when we corrected them.
Yeah, I disagree. You know, Joe Burrow didn't throw any interceptions. He had one really nice touchdown pass that was dropped, but it was really close. And then he had another touchdown pass that was a fumble right before they crossed the line. But you know, the defense played well, only gave up 16 points. You got to win those games. Just Joe Burrow, no interceptions. For Zach Moss's first game as a Bengal, he didn't play terrible. They just couldn't get anything going on offense. 10 points, you can't win a game that way. You can't. But you know, two fumbles, one on special teams. I mean, yeah. So it wasn't terrible. It wasn't a terrible game. They just couldn't score. 16-10. Defense played well. So yeah, they didn't. As a team, they didn't play terrible.
That they had already charged us the 1028. They went in there and they only changed the 1028 to 967, but they still charging us all the fees from the 1028.
What do you mean all the fees?
Like, okay, ma'am. So before July, they told us on the portal, it says that we owed them $2,661. But in April 30th, we paid $983 came out the account to Oak Meadows for rent for 5/1. And then on 5/1, they charged us another rent for $967. I'm sorry, they charged us another rent for $1028. On 5/31, we had a credit on our account for $489, and then on 5/31, we paid $478, which equal out to $967. That's how much we're supposed to pay for rent. And then on 6/1, they charged us again $967. This is where they getting up to $3,000. We only did not pay July rent, and we did not pay August rent because Mr. Byron kept asking them, can y'all clear up these fees? Because we already paid the rent before the rent was due, and then we got hit with late fees. So we was kind of confused if we paid the rent on the 31st of May for June. Why on June 1st if they're charging $967 again? We have all the documentations right here.
Okay, so you agree that you owe July and August?
Yes, that's all we owe is July, August, and September just got here.
All right. So what can you do to become current for July and August?
Okay, I sent my daughter in there before and with the rent for July, and they told us no, y'all owe us $3,000.
Okay.
I've been
How
trying to
much
pay
can you
rent.
pay to become current right now? How much do you have to become current?
I can pay July and August, but I just wanted them not to charge me those extra fees.
Okay, so you have
1934, yes, I do. That's how much my rent is for those 2 months.
okay, and what about September's rent?
September rent. Now, if he can give me some time, I get paid. I mean, he get paid. He can send the money, and then we can get that done by the 15th with the late fee,
Okay.
whatever late fee that they do charge.
All right, nationwide, we're gonna cut out June. I don't know what's going on. It looks like there was a lot of complications with what has been paid and overpaid, so we're gonna just credit June at 415. So we're only asking for July and August, which is 1934. She's got that right now, but she said September's rent can be paid to the 15th. What do you want to do?
So, Your Honor, we do have to proceed with judgment. The property does require payment in full. Cutting out June, that's just going to be July, August, and September.
KCC raid. It's awesome. Thank you, KCC. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is a landlord-tenant case. This is right before everything gets good. It's about to go down. This lady's about to start yelling, and yeah, if anyone can understand what's going on, good for you, because I really don't. They're not paying rent. They are about to show a ledger which shows everything, but so apparently this guy's rent was I don't know what the exact amount. Let's just say $900, but they were charging him $1,000. So and he for like 6 months he paid $1,000 even though his rent was 900. They gave him a credit and then he just stopped paying once it was corrected. So that's what the issue is. And they're about to show a ledger here in a second, but I am going to warn you, I blurred out the ledger because there's a lot of personal information on there. I tried to do the thing where I put my icon over it, but it's big. So I had to just blur the entire screen. So get your eyes ready, or just be ready not to, just to stare at the chat and not look at the screen because yeah, it's gonna be blurry for like 5 minutes.
Almost $3,000, and there's going to be late fees as well as the other utility charges on their account. So because the balance is so high, the property does want to proceed with that judgment today.
But how is it $3,000 when the late fees is only $42, sir? That still don't. That's if the rent is 1934. Where y'all getting 3,000? Y'all still charging me the 1028. Your Honor, I got all the paperwork. They've been trying.
Miss Williams, you need to calm down. Wait a minute and let me figure this out. Hold on.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, Your Honor, I arrived at $2,901. That's rent alone for July, August, and September. So that's just 3 months of rent, cutting out the June partial balance. That's almost $3,000 right there. Then we have late fees for 2 months. That's $96.70. So another $180 added onto that. That's a little over $3,000. Then we have electric and water, sewer, trash fees. I don't have the total that posted in June, or sorry, in July and August. But those get posted to their account as well. So that's going to drive the total up to even higher than 3,100.
Okay. All right. So Miss Williams at 967, which is what your rent is for 3 months for July, August, and September, you're already at 2,901.
Okay.
That's base rent. Then another 180 on late fees, and then your light, water, and everything else, sewage, and everything else that they charge. They cannot ask for that here in court. That's why your balance is different, because under the property code, they cannot get judgment for late fees. And I already told them they can't ask for the full month of September. That doesn't mean you don't owe it, because you do owe it.
Absolutely.
But in my court, we prorate it because it's only 3 days in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the apartment complex is asking for that amount, which by your lease on the 1st, you were obligated to pay the full month. So just July, August, and September, you're already at 2,900.
Right, and like I said before, we have the money to pay it, but we do not have access to pay on the portal. We've been sending emails for them. We tried to take the money into the office, and they wanted me.
You're not going to have access on the portal because you're late. They've already cut you off of the portal because you're late and you're in an eviction court. So you're no longer able to use the portal. They want money orders at this point.
But ma'am, we were going through this before the notice been issued.
Yeah, this been going on before the eviction. I went in there before August to pay the rent for July, and they told me that I owed them $3,000 in July, the end of July. I went in there. My daughter went in there to pay it.
By the end of July, your portal was already cut off, correct?
That was the first month that I owed the rent, was July.
And they had that right to cut that portal off because July was not paid on the 1st, like your contract stated. Is that correct?
Right, because they were saying that I owed them $3,000 in July. Do you understand that?
Okay.
May and June was paid. July rent was only $967. How do I owe $3,000? August didn't even hit yet. Is what I'm trying to explain. So when I said to them, I said, hey, y'all got too much money on this portal. I'm only short 1 month, and the month is still here. We weren't even out the month of July when we took the money into the office. At that point, yes, the portal was open, but it was open with all that money that they said that we owed it from the 1028, and that we did not understand why they was overcharging us. So that's why I didn't put the money on the portal at the end of July. I took it into the office. They tried to tell us that, oh no, y'all, we need the whole 3,000, and August didn't even hit yet. That's why Your Honor, that's why we was a little confused. Like August didn't even hit yet. We trying to pay July, and y'all telling us we owe y'all all this money from where? If May and June was already paid.
Yeah, that's how my apartment complex works. It's I don't know. It's about a week before the first. They will add the previous. They'll add the next month on there. So I mean, you can pay. You know, I think it might be even earlier than that. I don't know, but they'll add it to the ledger. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. She's getting 3,000 from somewhere. They're about to show the ledger again. I have it blurred out. We're not going to be able to read it. A lot of personal information. So you're just going to have to listen to them talking about it.
July was the first month that we did not pay the rent, is because they already had all those fees up there.
Okay.
And I can
so you
show
got
you
July
right now. On the portal, right?
You got July and August right now.
Yes, I do.
Okay. But you can't pay September till the 15th.
I can probably pay it before the 15th. I can probably pay it before the 15th, Tyler.
When is that?
Probably like next Monday, I can probably get the 967. It's just I'm waiting on my next paycheck. That's all.
All right. Nationwide, what are you wanting to do?
Your Honor, I'm gonna let's see. I just got a message from the property manager.
And it's just retaliation, Your Honor, because the code enforcement's been out there. The sewer's been coming out my toilet. It's been coming out my sink. I got a lot of pictures. We done went in the office and they've been asking for us. So I don't know why they even doing this.
Unfortunately, I can't speak about that in eviction court.
If
you want to turn around and speak them all day long, you have that right to. But that's a separate type of case. Go ahead, Nationwide. What happened?
Your Honor, can you give me just one moment? I'm communicating with the property manager right now via text message to see if they will accept that payment from them. If we can recall this in just a few minutes.
Yes. All right, Ms. Williams, Mr. Williams, give me a 1 minute.
Miss Judge, can I say something real quick?
Yes. Yes, sir.
I've been trying to call them almost every single day. They don't answer the phone. I leave messages, I leave emails, all that. They don't respond. They don't do nothing.
Like we've been trying to get a hold of them.
I'm sorry they don't answer the phone. I can't force them to answer the phone, guys. I hear you, but I can't force them to. I can't pick up the phone and say you better answer the phone. I can't do that. So give me 1 minute. You speak with the department.
If it was to pick up, all this won't be going on right now. That's the problem I'm having.
Okay. Well, let them see what they have to say, and let me see if they're willing to accept it. All I can do is wait to see what they say.
I just got an answer, Your Honor. I just got an answer back. So they are requesting that the defendant pay their entire balance in order to reset it. That's going to be almost $4,000. I just also got an updated ledger from them. as well, and their rent, not including September's total, is $3,011.74.
That's the same amount that y'all was charging me in July. That don't make no sense.
I can screen share the ledger, Your Honor, so they can
If
see
you
it.
add,
I
if you
got the
add
letter.
September, how is it $34?
Everybody stop. That's enough. I don't want to hear nothing from anybody. Nationwide, go ahead and put the ledger on.
All right, so this is the
All right, this is where it's blurry. Sorry, guys. I had to edit this all out. When I tried to just cover up the personal information, he scrolls up and down, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna make it blurry. But he's gonna read it out to us, so we understand what's going on. But for the next couple minutes, it will be blurry. Apologize. I apologize. I just said apologize. Who am I?
ledger here, Your Honor.
Okay.
And then scrolling down here, you can see that they did go into June with a credit 660 or 678 here, right here, before the fees start posting. I arrived at
Okay.
415 was the total past due for June, but we are going to waive that and just proceed forward with the July and August total of 19.
Okay, so stay right there. On July 1st, they owed $522. And then the service fee, the sewer, water, everything went up. Then the rent got posted. And then he started with electric again in August.
Correct, Your Honor. So that's why the balance has gone up so much. Is they did have a balance running in June, and then going into July with the utilities, it just keeps going up.
Okay, so
Okay.
if y'all say if you said we had a credit of 678, right? Where's that credit coming from?
That's going to be payments made in March, April, and at the end of May, Your Honor.
What do you mean March, April, May? Because March was a deposit and it was my admin fee, right? So that's included on the rent, is what you're saying? Because I paid a total of $983. I did $983. And then we did a total of $478.
Mm-hmm. We see that on the ledger.
Right? Now you going for March, we did $350, another $200. So
We got
I'm
$200.
still kind of confused on, like, if we got a credit, how do we still owe $3,000 in July? Is what I'm.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. We've seen a lot of landlord-tenant cases, and everywhere does it different. Now, I've never paid water. Water's always been a part of rent wherever I've lived, except for when I owned a house. But everything else has always been separate in my name. So I always think that's weird when it's added to the bill or to the rent. I just think that's weird.
Saying. Because I'm
Okay,
telling you,
that's
in
where
July,
I don't understand. There's never been a balance of $3,000 in July, according to this ledger. Is that correct, Nationwide?
Okay, so do you see
correct,
the
Your Honor.
200?
Hold on, Ms. Williams. Hold on, let him answer. Nationwide, as of July, was there a balance of $3,000?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so I don't know where Miss Williams is getting 3,000, but I'm pretty sure somebody told her that because she wouldn't have just pulled that out. I don't know, but Miss Williams, we're looking at the ledger right now. This is what it's at. On June 1st, you have still a credit of 670. It's not until June 1st that the rent got posted that you now are negative 300. The 670 took your extermination fee, your trash, and partial of your rent.
And you said that was
So
June
I don't
1st?
know where you got that information in July. I have no idea where you got 3,000.
I'm trying to tell you, I got it off of the portal. If you allow me to flip my camera, if you allow me to flip the camera, I have the portal copy right here that said $2,661 in July. So where does that come from? If July's rent is only $967. So I was a little confused.
I don't know. Okay, can I explain? Okay, Forget about what you heard in July. I don't know. I can't account. I'm here now in court right now. I asked them the totals, and this is what the total is. July, August, and September.
Okay, so
either
they want
pay
me to
them
come
all
with the
upfront
full payment?
or we move forward with the eviction.
Right. Do they want me to come with the full payment? What's my full payment?
Your
Because they
full
cheated me
payment
anyway,
is
so it don't even matter. I'm getting cheated. So I'll pay them their little petty old $3,000, and I hope they come in there and fix my place up. Because I don't even have a refrigerator or stove. Why they want me to pay $3,000?
Can you stop?
That don't make no damn sense.
Stop.
Because we don't even got a refrigerator and a stove.
Talk, please. Let the judge talk, please. Please let the judge talk.
I'm gonna pay
Nation, what's the total?
So this total that we see here on the screen does not include the rent for September. With September's rent, it's $3,978.74.
Can y'all pay that?
Yep. I got my rent money.
By when?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
By when?
When they allowed me to, when they open up the portal. Because I'm not going to that office.
Judgment for 1934. You got 5
When
days to
when I'm
provide
allowed to pay it online, then I can pay the rent as of when I get off of work today.
Okay. Judgment in the amount of 1934. Thank you.
Yeah, that happened. That happened. Now they can unlock the portal. All it takes is a phone call. It's like, hey, I have all this. I want to pay it. Can you unlock the portal, please? They're saying they're calling every day. Do you believe them? I don't know. They might be. I got the money. That's just so much unnecessary yelling. Anyways, speaking of unnecessary yelling, this next one is a gem, and it has made its rounds. I think I've seen this on 3 or 4 other channels, and I wasn't gonna play it, but for those that haven't seen it, this is one of the best clips of all time. If you have seen it, it's worth a second watch. If you haven't, it's good. All right, let's go.
Alicia Allen.
Hey, Judge.
Miss Allen, good morning.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. All right, Miss Allen, looks like you have just.
I already know I was doing Uber DoorDash that day, and we were at a 4-way stop, and I honked at a cop. And I think she was having a bad day
Let me
because
stop
she
here
wrote
for
me
a
a ticket.
Wait. You honked at a cop?
We were at a 4-way stop, and she was in front of me. Yes, I honked at a cop. I was doing DoorDash or Uber, one of those two. I just know I was at work, and me and her kind of had I was like, really, man, honking the horn? She's like, you can't do that. And when I got pulled over the other day, I was like, a warrant out of Louisville. I don't even go up there. And then I noticed you guys spelled my name wrong. I was like, yeah, she was probably having a bad day. And then I was trying to make it better because I was like, really, a horn and a ticket? I even asked my mom, was that illegal? And we Googled it, and she was like, yep, sure enough, you can't honk your horn unlawfully. Well, yeah,
Yes,
I just thought people were going slow at the 4-way stop. I had some
But you honked at a cop.
Driving safe though.
But you honked at a cop.
Not unlawfully. It was a 4-way stop. She was taking too long.
Well,
I even told her that. That's probably why she wrote me the ticket and didn't give me a warning, because nothing else was wrong that day. So I was driving perfectly safe, speed limit, and I was in Louisville.
And Miss Allen, and then you failed to appear in court.
Because I didn't remember. And that was around May. So I was in a bad TV situation in June and basically it was, I'm just digging out of that.
And you had a warrant for your arrest.
I've honked at a cop before. Because the cop almost hit me. He just decided to merge over in front of me, wasn't paying attention, almost hit me, so I just quickly hit the horn. And he quickly put up his hands, like not even like, I'm sorry, I almost hit you. He like threw up his hands like, oh, you should have been watching me. I was coming over your lane. You should have slowed down for me. He didn't pull me over or anything, but the second I did, it was like instant reaction. It's like, and then I'm like, oh no, why did I do that? Like I was essentially apologizing to the cop for him almost hitting me. Anyways, he didn't pull me over there, but I was scared instantly.
I just figured that out last week. I got pulled over. That's what I was. I called on Friday to see what to do about that because I've been pulled over and in jail twice since then. So I was wondering why that hasn't came up or why the officer in Pantego was the only one that told me about it years later.
Maybe it's because the other officers didn't want to mess with it. They didn't want to.
See, that's what I was thinking. But that's something minor, though. That's something that I can just, deal with and get out the way while I'm dealing with other stuff that's severe.
It is minor. It is minor until you're in jail.
You go to jail for honking your horn?
No. You don't. You go to jail for failure to appear in court.
Oh yeah, I know that. I didn't know. I didn't follow up with anything after that. Like I said, it was a pretty hysterical day after that. I was delivering, trying to get home. I think it was like 7, 8 o'clock at night when I got pulled over. So I was just.
Well, unfortunately, Miss Allen, your fine increased significantly.
What is it? Since you guys, I had to look it up because I noticed my name was spelt wrong. So I don't know anything on that end.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't too bad until you failed to appear, and then we had to issue a warrant, and then we had to turn it over to collections, and now it's $499.
Okay. Yeah. And then around that time, I wasn't going to be able to make it anyway. Like I said, I was in a DV situation that kind of like had me in restraint. Without speaking too much, but yeah.
Well, what do you want to do?
I wasn't going to be community service or something. I don't want to pay $500 for honking a horn. Tell your officers stop having bad days.
All right. Look at the judge's face already. Like, what do you mean? You don't want to pay $500 for honking your horn? You're not. And she fails to understand this. The ticket was probably $100. I'm just gonna say on average it was probably $100. Now she's got a bunch of fees because she didn't show up to court. She had a warrant for her name, and it's in default and collection. So you got fees and costs on top of the ticket now. So she probably turned a $100 ticket into a $500 ticket. It's $499 now. But she doesn't understand this process. She does not understand what's going on, and it's about to make a turn. It's about to take a turn. Get ready.
So I don't know.
You have a warrant for your arrest. What would you like to do with your case? Do you want to plead not
community service,
guilty or no contest?
No contest.
If you're employed, and how many hours per week are you working, ma'am?
I'm not employed. I'm a self-employed.
Well, so I think you're confused. You just said you're not employed, then you're self-employed. So what are you?
Well, you could say independent contractor, not self-employed. I don't own a business.
And I would say independent contractor.
Yes.
Well, so here's the thing, Ms. Allen. If you don't pay the fine and you have the ability to pay the fine, we issue a warrant for your arrest. And then we place a hold on your driver's license. And then if you are an independent contractor using your driver's license to make a living.
I know that just makes my life even worse when I just said I don't want to.
Then take care of your business, ma'am. Then take care of your business.
I take care of my business, sir. That's what I'm saying. That day was just a bad day for the officer. And then that time was a bad time for me in general. So for it to be a good day, I'm glad I laughed and got a chuckle out of it. But $500 a year later and still not even handling the situation when I handle everything legally to make sure that my name is ran clear because I do have a professional profile. I'm trying to keep that in good standings. I don't go to Louisville. That's why I'm saying I'm here now instead of letting it go off and continue going. Because like I said, I just got pulled over again.
We can
for
certainly
something
work
minor.
with you on a payment plan.
Not really up for that. What is the balance on that? Like I said, I just moved here.
$499.
No, what is the payment plan?
Well, you'd have to pay $499, and I could break it up into payments of about $100 a month if you can do that.
No, I can't. I can't.
Well, that's up to you. you say you're an independent contractor, you have the ability, so you earn some money each month, correct?
As of right now, no. I just said I got out of a DV situation, sir.
All right. So what I'm
That's
gonna
why
have
I'm
to do
asking
then
for
is I'm gonna have you
community
fill out
service.
an information sheet explaining your financial circumstances.
Why
And
all of that?
pardon me?
I said, why all of that?
Well, because
I
you're
just
not really,
explained my situation to you.
I need you to fill that out. And then it'll be under oath so that if you include false information, then you'd have a different problem.
I have a problem with this whole situation that I'm trying to clear up. I'm trying to do the best that I can, but paying is not an option for me right now.
Well, ma'am, how do you take care of your expenses of daily living then?
I'd rather not disclose that information, sir.
I'm
But
sorry?
that fine, I can't pay that fine right now. If I have to do jail time to sit down and do that, how much time do I have to sit in jail for that? Because I'd
Well,
rather do community service. I can't pay $50 to $100 a month right now. That's what I'm saying. Right now, I can't. Right now, I can't. Joke's over. But right now, I can't pay
what
that
did you
much.
say? You say joke is over?
I said the jokes are over because we had a little chuckle at the beginning at the introduction. But now on a serious level, I can't pay that money. So if I have to go sit down in jail to get this ticket out of the way, do that or go do community service. But paying money to Louisville is not something that I can do right now.
I think, Miss Allen, you misunderstand the circumstances.
Oh, she absolutely misunderstands the circumstances. She thinks that she can just say, "No, I'm not doing that. I can't do it." And they're just like, "Oh, you can't pay it? Oh, well, we're just gonna tear this ticket up then. I understand. You can't pay it. We'll throw it away. Good luck in the rest of your professional life, whatever you do that you don't want to disclose to the court." Biggin. Thanks for the raid, Biggin. I appreciate it, bud. You jumped in at the perfect time because this case just went from kind of goofy to really bad really quickly.
No, I don't think you understand my end.
Then I'm going to have you fill out an information sheet that explains your financial circumstances, and you'll do that before I authorize community service.
A financial circumstances as far as what? That I can't pay?
I want to know.
Or you want to know why I can't pay?
I want to know what your income is and what your expenses are so that I know that whether or not you qualify for community service.
I'm homeless. I just said I got out of a DV situation, sir. I don't have nothing. Like, I'm lucky to be alive. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well,
and mentally, if anything, I want to keep the little money that I do have to make sure I have this and that and necessities, but community service like this is old. I'd rather have this washed and dealt with. If the city police didn't do that, that's not my fault. If I would have known about it, I would have took care of it. But like I said, I did not know about this since that day. I didn't do my end to go dig deeper into it because I didn't think it was a serious problem, even a law, until, like I said, we looked it up. But
well, ma'am, I have
$150 ain't it. I can't do that. If it'll stay on arrest warrant.
This citation was issued to you in November of 2022. There's a signature on the document that on the citation.
So what happened in May?
No, ma'am. This was issued the 4th of November of 2022 at 7 p.m.
What happened on the 23rd of May in 2023?
I don't know. And
so 2020, so the ticket that I pulled up said 2023.
Well, perhaps you have another ticket.
Are we talking about the unlawful use of a horn?
Yes, on November 4th of 2022.
Okay, no.
And so, not only did you fail to appear
initially, 2 years and that's crazy. Go ahead. Sorry.
So when the officer stopped you and gave you the citation, on that citation, it said that you, without admitting guilt, you promised to appear.
Yeah, I had Big and open on another tab. So when you guys were saying Big and Raid, I went over to his to close the tab and I was on some random site. What Biggin sometimes does, and he jokes about this all the time too, he'll say, "Oh, we're gonna raid this person," and what you do is you go and you click the raid, but you have to click update. So it's not enough just to click the channel. You have to click save and update so YouTube knows you're doing that because it counts as an update to your live stream. So I'm guessing that he forgot to hit the update button, and he said he was going to raid me, but it's okay. I appreciate you guys all coming over. But yeah, I've done that before as well. It's you know it's as easy as instead of hitting the play button, hitting the rewind button. Yeah, I do that all the time too. But I still appreciate the shout out from Big and thank you guys for coming over.
And you failed to appear initially. And then when that happened, we sent you another notice to appear and you failed to appear then. And that's why a warrant was issued for your arrest.
How did you guys send the notice? Just asking.
The address that we sent is 2615 Topeka Street. That's the address that you gave the officer.
That's in Wichita, Kansas. She took it off my ID, sir. That's why I'm saying she was having a bad day. I didn't do anything wrong other than honk my horn. But as far as handling my end with handling my court costs, fees, and appearances, that's what I'm saying. I didn't.
Well, what I'm telling you is that the document that you gave her, the driver's license that you gave her, is the official address that we use to notify you of a citation and to notify you of your court date. If you fail to change that and you fail to notify the court of the new address, that's on you. You failed to notify the court.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you were sending it to that address, and that most definitely did not get to me.
Yeah. So that the next, so are you wanting to plead?
No contest. And I want to do
Very
community
good. I'll
service
accept a
or
plea of
do sick
no
time
contest,
served.
and your fine of $4.99 is due within 30 days.
Will I be able to do time served?
Pardon me?
Will I be able to do time served?
Well, why would I do that? Why would I do that?
That's what I'm saying. I've been in jail twice since you said November of 2022.
Yes, ma'am. Well, if you'll provide proof of that, I'll take a look at it. I'll consider it.
How do you want proof? Show it up in the mirror, or you want me to send it to your email?
What did you just say?
I said, do you want me to show it in the picture like this in the mirror, or to your email?
In the mirror? You mean in the camera?
Same thing.
All right. Someone needs to explain that to me. That's been in my head since I saw this for the first time, and I couldn't remember where I heard that from. It's her. You want me to show it in the mirror? You mean the camera? Same thing. Is that something people call the camera, the mirror? I mean, I know people use their phone for a mirror at times. I've seen that happen. But is that what people are calling their camera nowadays? The mirror? I'd be confused with that too, Judge. Don't worry.
No, ma'am. You provide it to the court, and I'll take a look at it.
How do you want me to provide it to the court, sir? I don't.
You can either bring it by, or you can send it. You can send it in an email. Either one.
Okay. And then what will happen from there? This case will be dismissed, or what?
Oh, no. Don't be dismissed. You've already entered a plea of no contest.
But I'm trying to do time served. If that paperwork handles everything.
The case would not be dismissed. You might, if you qualify, I may give you, if you qualify, then I would give you credit for time served. But that doesn't mean that the fine is satisfied in full.
Okay. So what is the time
served? It might be
served?
reduced, but it wouldn't be satisfied in full. So
what does time served do? I'm just asking, like, on the legal side.
What does time served do?
Yeah, like on the legal side, what does that mean?
It means you're convicted, you have this on your record, and that's what it means. So I'm going to have you visit with the clerk. I'm also going to make a notation that you're going to provide information regarding a request for credit for time served.
And then back to the financial part.
Well, that will be, we'll take a look at that after you provide me with proof that you were in jail.
Okay, but I want to get that out the way because I don't want to pay y'all, sir.
Oh, I'm clear on what you want.
We're all clear on what you want. You don't want to pay. You're trying to do everything you can to not pay. That it doesn't work that way. You can't just say I can't pay. I'm not paying. I don't want to pay you. Oh yeah, we're gonna tear the ticket up. I don't know how many times I have to say that. It doesn't work that way. And yeah, it's not getting any better. It's gonna get worse. It is gonna get so much worse.
And I'm clear of
I don't think you are. And you got way hostile with me, but dang, I was gonna call you a cool judge too, but what the hell happened? But
Hey,
anyway,
Miss
that's what
Allen,
I'm
you are
trying to
in court right now. If you continue to act this way, I'm going to hold you in contempt of court.
act what way?
You know, Miss Allen, you're
What's going on? I'm just answering your question, sir. I'm not being smart or anything. Like, what
well, it
changed?
does
What
appear
happened?
that you're being, yeah, Miss Allen, I'm going to ask that you just stop talking just for a minute and let me make some notes and then we'll go from there. Okay?
Okay.
I don't want you to get in trouble by saying something you shouldn't say.
All right. Is that her nail file that she's putting in her mouth? I don't know what that is, but if that's her nail file, that is so freaking disgusting. Your nails. Oh no. I don't know how I missed that the first time I watched this. I don't know what that is, but I think it's her nail file, and that is so gross.
I'm about to go to jail. About to go to
The proof of incarceration needs to
be.
be submitted to the court before the 30th of September, okay? And then after that point, once I see what you have and whether or not you do qualify for credit for time served, or whether you do get any credit for the time that you do serve, then that will reduce the amount of the fine that you owe. The fine at this point is $4.99. You do get credit if you qualify. And so we'll take a look at that, and then I'm going to reset your case to the in October. When is the first IH stock in October? Is it the first? I believe it is. So the clerk is going to reset your case to the 1st of October, and then we'll discuss, assuming that you provide me with Ms. Allen. What are you waving at me for?
Case for? Because I can't talk. What are you resetting my case for?
Ms. Allen,
What are you resetting my case for?
you have not been listening.
You just said you're about to reset my case so that I can send you a
Yes,
piece of
ma'am.
paper.
And I
for
told you
what?
that I'm resetting your case after I review the information you provide to the court.
About time served.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm trying to get this case underway so I can stop dealing with Louisville, period, sir. Other than paying, can I do community service, something else? Because obviously you don't care about the piece of paper if you're still going to make me pay. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get this out the way altogether. I don't like showing up in court. I don't like dealing with judges and polices at all. I'm not disrespectful. I'm straightforward. Like, I don't like this. I want to get this done and get it out the way. It's been 2 years that I've been dealing with this, and it's a warrant on me now. You guys can come pick me up right now and put me in jail. I don't have time for that.
It's been 2 years that she's been dealing with this. No. See, that's the problem. You haven't been dealing with this. That's why it has been 2 years. This was a traffic citation that you let go for 2 years. So no, you haven't been dealing with it. Oh, and the entire time I was watching this, she says Louisville. I was thinking she meant Louisville, Kentucky. And I was like, what? and I kept trying to read the little symbol behind the judge, and I don't know where this actually is, but it's not. It actually is Louisville. Lewis. It's not Louisville. So I was wrong. So I'm glad I caught myself before I said that.
Well, then you'll take the time to deal with this. Then you're going to have to do that one way or
That's what
another.
I'm saying. I'm not going to send a document. What's the next thing, sir?
Okay, if you're telling me that you're not going to send the document,
Because that's just going to reduce my fine. That's not going to solve the case.
ma'am, if you're telling me that you're not, that you're refusing to provide me with proof of incarceration, you won't get any jail credit.
Okay, and I'm cool with that. I just want to get Louisville off my back. Period. Like, let's get this done with.
Then you can either pay the fine or you can do community service, but I'm only going to do the community
Let's
service.
go do that. Community
Ma'am,
service, sir.
if you interrupt me again, I'm going to hold you in contempt of court.
Go ahead.
All right. Miss Allen, I'm done with you. I'm not going to deal with you anymore.
Sir. It's just, it went up and down. I don't know where this conversation went.
You'll need to appear in court at this point.
For what?
You need to appear in court at this point. I'm not going to deal with you on this through video anymore.
Sir, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this case. Are you fucking serious, bro?
Yep. Oh, see, she was about to call him a cool judge. They were kind of joking back and forth at the beginning, and then when she realized that she wasn't going to get out of this ticket, she changed. She changed. Also, $500 community service at what, $10 an hour, $15 an hour. That is a ton of time. You're going to be wishing that you paid it if you get granted community service, but you got to be proven that you can't pay it. You got to prove that you can't pay it. So you got to fill out the documents. The judge isn't just going to allow you to do that. That's still a lot of hours. So it's $10 an hour. It's 50 hours. You want to do 50 hours of community service? Nope. She's in contempt now. I bet she doesn't go to court. She's going to get a notice in the mail. She's in contempt. Oh, all right. Let's move on. We're actually going back to Judge Garcia. Oh, this next one is a follow-up. Do you guys remember the case where the guy's house that he was living in was foreclosed on, but he was up to date on his rent? This is the follow-up to that. And the guy's he's still arguing the same thing. Let's go.
All right, guys. Let me get Trident Realty. And this is for Mars.
Yes, and the occupants of 1128 Fulton.
Yeah, good morning, Your Honor. And we were here before, and there were some real questions about the Protecting Tenants at Foreclosure Act of 2009 that was made permanent in 2018 with a few amendments. And I'm ready to kind of lay out my arguments why he's not a bona fide tenant, and I'll try to do it quickly so that we can get this case done.
All right, go ahead, counsel.
All right. Well, Your Honor, my client is the lender who foreclosed, and the lender is the owner, and it's not a federally backed entity. It's a private lender. And when I started digging into this act and all the things, here's my arguments. One, I believe it only applies or could apply to a federally backed mortgage loan. They include the definition in there in the act of what a federal mortgage is. And even one court in New York looked at it and said, yes, that's as far as Congress can go with their power. So my first argument would be, since this is not a federally backed mortgage loan, this doesn't apply to him. Second, a language in the act says that the lease must be entered into before the notice of foreclosure. The foreclosure occurred on May 7th. The lease's date is May 1st.
Hey, at least we don't say Louisville. We say Louisville or Louisville. But yeah, but I'll take the extra pizzazz. Yeah, Louisville. Louisville just sounds weird, so it's Louisville.
For $1,800 a month. And the foreclosure notice would have to be at least 21 days in advance of that date, which would put it at April 16th, which would mean his lease is not a lease that can be protected under this act because it wasn't entered into before the notice of foreclosure. And that's just straight language from the law.
No, this is Texas. This is Texas. I believe it's San Antonio. I feel like every time I look Judge Garcia up, it's San Antonio, but every time I try to remember, I never, I always question myself. Let's say it that way.
Now, to step into why I also think it doesn't apply here, even if you find the first two arguments, which I really think you should at least be able to hang your hat on number two. But here, this was never meant to be an act where tenants could live for free. If you look back at the legislative history in 2009, it was meant to provide tenants who were otherwise current on their obligations under a lease protection when a foreclosure happened because their landlord didn't pay the mortgage. And so to be a bona fide tenant, you have to pay going forward. And this is, I think that, yes, as soon as I take the case, I could give him a 90-day notice, but as soon as he misses a monthly payment to me, I can give him a 3-day notice to vacate. He's been given a 3-day notice because he hasn't paid rent or even tendered rent or offered rent. And the act says that it does require the receipt of rent that is not less than fair market value. And it goes into some other things. So I think that is the obligation. He has not paid since the foreclosure or since my notice to vacate, and he hasn't even offered or tendered. So there's been no way for me to work something out with him. If he would say, hey, I'll pay 4 months of rent right now through September, well, then I could say, okay, well, look, give me that and I'll give you a 90-day notice. We'll go forward on that basis. But he has not. So he's not current on his obligations. He's not a bona fide tenant. And therefore, Your Honor, I'd like to proceed to judgment today for possession and also asking for past due rent in the amount of $7,200, which is 4 months.
All right. And give me, when does the 4 months start? May?
I would start at June, July, August, and September.
And what is the monthly rent, just for bond purposes?
$1,800, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Mars, go ahead.
Your Honor, based off of what he's saying, well, first of all, you have been present for all the hearings, and I have offered to move forward with rent. I've offered to, yes, the month when they foreclosed, I said that I could continue with the lease. I could continue making the payments to them. I just didn't know for those months, May and June, when it was in discrepancy, who the owner was during the foreclosure. We've offered to pay the rent and continue paying our lease. And he's saying right now that he accepts us as a leaseholder by trying to charge us back rent. Well, even in the act, in the Federal Protection Act, it says even if he doesn't want to accept our lease and is not saying that it's a valid lease for non-leaseholders, it says it's still 90 days in a foreclosure. We were tenants that were paying to homeowners. We paid them the last payment on June 1st. I was current until June 1st with the homeowners, whether they were paying their mortgage payment, to which my understanding, all mortgage payments are backed federally somehow because they're guided through federal guidelines through the way they.
Mortgage payments are backed federally? That's interesting. And Nima? I'm gonna guess it's Nima. Yeah, this is part two of this. The last time, I think I covered part one last week. I feel like it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this case happened, I think Thursday. I think it was Thursday. But yeah, no, this guy he was prepared. He came in, he said, I've never been late when the foreclosure happened. I was up to date on my rent. So because he started naming off these different statutes and he was citing what he was referencing, and nobody really was ready for that. The judge wasn't ready. Mr. Taylor wasn't ready. So they adjourned it for a week so they could all prepare and research what he was citing. So he sounded like he was on top of it, but the fact remains he hasn't paid rent in 3 months. So now he's trying to, claim all of this, but he hasn't paid rent in 3 months and he's trying to stay there. So I feel like he's trying to find a loophole to get free rent, but then still stay there and just start paying now. I feel like that's what he's trying to do. But he's smart. He's smart. He got it pushed out a week.
Give out mortgages and loans and approvals, their rates and everything. Everything, all those are all federally. So this property does.
Katie, I was trying to find your contact information because I wanted you up because you said that you wanted to come up on panel for a landlord-tenant case, and this one would be perfect for you because this guy is well, he's dumb for not paying his rent, but he's smart. He challenged the court and he got close to winning. Just he's not an attorney, so in the end, the attorney wins.
They're not all federally backed up.
Yeah.
So
Okay. But Your Honor, he's saying that I'm the leaseholder, and if that's the case, then it still says that in the foreclosure, I'm a leaseholder and I'm required the 90 days, not a 3-day notice to vacate.
Your Honor, just to follow up, any rent due in June should have been paid to my client per the Texas Property Code. And I also believe that state law determines whether a lease is still in force or not. So I would say his lease was terminated at the time of the foreclosure. He gets the protection of the act if he continues to pay rent for the period of time if he's current on rent. And he didn't do that, so he didn't avail himself of the protections of the act, and a 3-day notice would be appropriate at this time. So it's because some states are different. The federal law does say, from things I saw, the state law determines whether a lease exists or not. So you go back to Texas law, first in time filed, the lease date of May 1, 2024, it's certainly subordinate to the mortgage that was from years before that. So he would have.
Worcestershire cat. Worcestershire cat. So much easier to say than Cheshire cat.
No lease at that point, but he would get the protections of the act. And since he's availed himself of the protections of the act, I think I'm entitled to monthly rent at $1,800 a month for this period of time.
Your Honor, in the act it says renters without a lease or those with a lease that can be terminated at will get 90 days notice before they move out.
That's true, except he didn't pay rent as it came due.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. So Mr. Mars, under the Protection Act, yes, that would be correct if you were a bona fide tenant. Bona fide tenant is someone
who am a bona fide tenant at the time of foreclosure.
Okay, but you didn't continue paying your rent, sir. You have not paid it.
We were evicted. My last payment was June 1st. I received eviction notice June 4th.
Okay, but you're still there and nothing has been paid.
Your Honor, I have offered to continue the lease and make the payments to the lease. Even the Tenant Protection Act, Your Honor, allows me at least 90 days for the eviction notice.
Yeah, I'd say let's move forward with our judgment today and invite him to call me afterwards if he wants to work out an alternative. I would be open to a conversation.
Your Honor, in the act, if you have reviewed it, it doesn't say anywhere that once the foreclosure has been made, that the tenant is still supposed to make payments to whoever. It says that's
exactly what it says, Mr. Mars. So, right here.
Your Honor, I believe I'm entitled to the 90 days.
Okay.
Under the act.
If the purchaser will not occupy the building as their primary residence, the tenant is entitled to complete the term of the existing lease as long as the tenant continues to pay their rent timely to the new owner. Then it goes on to what is considered timely and what is considered a bona fide tenant. A bona fide tenant is one that pays their rent timely through the months of the foreclosure and has no other lease violations. They are required.
Which I had at the time of foreclosure.
But you have not continuously paid your month.
Because they didn't accept or didn't want to accept anything or give me any amount or anything. We came in July the very first time, and I asked if they would be willing to proceed with the lease. That was my very first question to them, and he said his client didn't think so. That's when we went to proceed to try to make a 30-day agreement. I did offer.
So right now, what do you have to offer them, Mr. Mars?
I could pay 2 months full in rent, the July and August, and then we're working on September.
But you've got June and July. Have you paid June?
I paid June to the landlords. I have my receipt that I paid in June.
Mr. Taylor, has he paid June's? Hold on, Mr. Mars. Has he paid June's rent?
I don't know if he's paid you. He didn't pay it to us, but also, Your Honor, there is 2 leases here. He's the subtenant of another tenant. And if he's paying it to the other, which both would be entitled to this protection, it wasn't really to get into to confuse it, but he paid it to the other occupant of the house, maybe. That's what he's saying, because, you know.
Mr. Mars, who did you pay rent to?
The rent was paid to the owners of the house, not the sublet. The owners came on June 1st before I guess they knew the eviction was being sent to us. Before we never got foreclosure notices here at the house. The owners received all foreclosure notices. We received the very first notice that the house we were no longer was June 4th. We got an eviction notice and we immediately called our landlords and questioned them. They said, yes, we're losing the house in foreclosure. And we started questioning them and asked, why did you take rent in June? Just 3 days ago, they said, well, that we were still living here and they still had possession of the house. So we owed them at the time. So that was the only argument they gave us, but we did pay in June. And
Honor,
I can make July and August.
Let's move forward. And then if he can provide me evidence of the June rent, I won't be looking for June rent. And if we can maybe work out something on the other 2 plus September, but I'd like to do it post judgment because we've been having trouble getting an agreement until this will at least make it so we can either get an agreement or, we just keep moving forward with the court system.
Mr. Mars, do you have proof of June's rent?
Yes, I have my receipts. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have them on you right now?
They're in my file. Yes.
No. Is he gonna pop something up? I didn't blur anything out on this one. Yeah, so he's already gotten.
Your Honor, can I email them to you? I have all 3 years prior.
Well, we kind of need them right now because right now is going to determine how much your judgment's going to be in the amount of.
Your Honor, I'll go ahead and concede the June to make it easy. Plus, I do believe he probably has it. So it was just paid to the wrong person.
He's lucky the attorney's nice. They do not have to accept that. Even if he has a receipt that he paid in June, whoever said it in the chat, sounds like they stole your money for June. It really does. The foreclosure was done on the 4th and they collected it on the 1st. Anyways, I'm sure the receipts have anyways. So he hasn't paid for 2 months and he's trying to get 90 days. He's trying to get 3 more months and it's already been 2 months. He's in his 3rd month now. This is the same argument that he tried the last time. And yep, lawyer came prepared this time and the judge was ready for it as well. Didn't work for him. I guess nice try though.
Okay, so it's 5,400 then. All right. So as of right now, I'm going to go ahead and make my judgment in the amount of 5,400. Again, Mr. Mars, you have 5 days to move out, 5 days to appeal it, or speak with counsel to see if y'all can work something out as far as giving you more time to move out. Go ahead, Mr. Mars.
You said 5,400. July, August at September. 18. That's 36. September, I mean, if it's prorated, we're only 3 days in. Why would they get a whole?
Is September prorated? Counsel, is September prorated?
I didn't prorate September. Would you like it prorated, Your Honor?
Yes.
$180. So 3,600 plus 180. So 3,780.
Judgment's going to be in the amount of 3,780. Again, Mr. Mars, you've got 5 days to move out or appeal it or speak with counsel outside of court. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, y'all be careful out
there. Y'all be careful out there. Kind of a weird thing to say in a Landlord-tenant case. Anyways, everyone be careful. I guess it's, it's something nice to say at the end of a case. Bruce Davis, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're well, man. All right, moving into the last case. I have no idea what this is. I remember putting this on because it was only 10 minutes long. I was like, hey, you know what? I have nowhere else to stick this. I'll put this at the end of this video. I didn't rewatch this. I don't remember what this is at all. What do we
Take them
got?
in the order that I have them.
Take them in the order. Oh, I remember what this one is. Okay. It's a traffic one. This one's kind of funny. Okay, I got it. I'm good. All right, let's go.
So first is Francis Franczak.
Ready, Your Honor.
All right. So Ms. Booker, are you ready to proceed?
I am.
All right. If you'd call your first witness, please.
Your Honor, I call Conservation Officer Kyle Cherry.
Mr. Cherry, if you'd raise your right hand, please. And do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
Go ahead, counsel.
Okay. Officer Cherry, could you state your name?
No, traffic's not funny at all. But sometimes traffic cases are funny. You know, the second clip I played with the weird lady turned honking at an officer into contempt of court. So, you know, they can end up being funny. Still, I shouldn't say funny. I shouldn't say funny. I need to start saying interesting. Because I don't want to say that things that happen in people's lives are funny, because obviously this isn't funny. They're in court. But yeah, we'll just stick with interesting.
For the record, spell your last name.
Conservation Officer Kyle Cherry, Cherry.
What is your occupation and where are you employed?
I'm a conservation officer with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources Law Enforcement Division.
How long have you held that position?
I have been a conservation officer for 8 years.
All right, question. Is a conservation officer the same thing like as a park ranger? So we have park rangers here that they're a subset of the police, of the police department. Except their jurisdiction is mainly just in the park. They can't really do anything outside of the park. And inside the park, all they can do is detain you until the police get there if something happens. So are we talking the same thing?
Okay. Were you on duty on July 5th of 2024?
I was.
And did you have contact with a Francis Martin Franczak?
I did.
And can you describe what led to you having contact with that individual?
Yeah, while on patrol in Otsego County, I did observe while patrolling northbound on Meridian Line, I turned west onto Fairgrieve Road. I did observe a red side-by-side stopped in the roadway.
See, so it was fine. It was fine. I was watching you guys go back and forth. I didn't see anything bad come out of that. You know, it wasn't really worth bringing up, but I did want to jump in at one point and just be like, hey, everyone calm down. It's not a big deal. But yeah, it is what it is. So, but thank you for the super chat though. But yeah, no, I didn't see any issue with what was going on except for people were having a conversation about how a city's pronounced. So, you know, teach their own. If you say Illinois to me, since I was born in Illinois, I'll get you know, I'll come at you as well. So it is what it is. Not a big deal. But thank you, C-Dubs.
Okay. My window was rolled down, so I asked the driver how the trail conditions were. He stated he had just gotten started. I then, as I was continuing rolling my vehicle forward, observed he had expired ORV licenses. I then told him to pull over and speak with me regarding the violation.
Okay. And you confirmed that those licenses were expired?
Yes, I confirmed visually that they are expired. They also show that Mr. Franczak in our licensing system had not purchased a valid 2024 ORV license for this year.
Okay. Did you issue him a citation?
No, I do not. I do not add random R's to words. It is not Washington, it is Washington. So don't worry, I'm not one of those weirdos. And if you are one of those weirdos, you're awesome, but you're wrong.
I did. He was issued citation number N226996 for failing to license his ORV.
Okay. Did you have any additional contact with him after issuing that citation?
After issuing the citation, no.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to inform the court of?
There is not.
Okay. I don't have any other questions for him, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Vonzek, questions for Officer Cherry?
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Cherry, when you observed me on Fairgrieve Road, was I moving the vehicle, or was I stationary?
Nope, you were stationary in the roadway.
All right, stationary in the roadway, and then you made a left turn to drive onto Fairgrieve to discuss my situation, did you not?
That is correct.
And when you discuss,
Hey, we're all weirdos here. That's what makes us great. We're all weirdos. Everyone's awesome, even the ones that add R's. You know, I'm in love with a Canadian. They throw a U into words unnecessarily, and they also pronounce words weird. You know, just where you're from. But I make fun of people that say Washington as much as I make fun of people that say sorry.
my situation, had I informed you that I was in my side-by-side going to get gas, and it was the first time I was using it this year?
As I remember it, you informed me once I told you you had expired licenses, you said you would go to the gas station and buy whatever is required, at which point I told you that it is expected to have you licensed upon contact before operating in the roadway.
Did you recall me telling you that I used the side-by-side as a utility vehicle around my property, and I'm never using it on trails? Do you recall that?
I don't recall that at all.
All right. Was I dressed like somebody that was on a trail, or was I dressed inappropriately for driving on a trail?
There isn't a consistent way of dressing for either road operation or trail operation in my experience.
Do you recall what I had on?
I do not.
Would I surprise you if I told you I had golf shirt on and golf shorts, and I had no outfit by which to be on a trail and be exposed to dust and all the other things that come with trail riding?
It would not surprise me. However, you don't have to be on a trail to need an ORV license.
Okay. And so I explained that to you, but you're forgetting apparently, or maybe.
See, I say both. And this is a weird one. I don't know why, but I've always said both. It's just whatever rolls off my tongue at that time. Pecan or pecan. I've said both. There are a couple words that are like that for me, where it just all depends on, I don't know if the word before or after. But I don't know. I don't know why, but it's both. See, I'm weird too.
I'm forgetting, but it seemed that I was telling you that I was going to a gas station, and that I told you I was going to get gas and I was going to get a trail permit. Is that correct?
Judge, I guess I kind of object by the form of the question. It kind of feels like testimony, and I know he'll have a chance.
Right, yeah,
to testify if he
obviously,
wants.
and you know that, Mr. Franzek, you get a chance to testify, but.
Okay, then I'm
Yep.
done. That's fine, Your Honor.
Right.
I don't have further questions.
Okay, Ms. Brooker, any other questions for Officer Cherry?
Just quickly, Officer Cherry, when you encountered the vehicle, was it running? Do you recall?
It was running. I had him shut it off during the traffic stop.
Okay. All right. I don't have any other questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Franzek, any other questions?
Well, you describe it as a traffic stop. There was no traffic stop. I was stopped. Isn't that correct?
There was not initially a traffic stop. Once I identified that you were expired and told you that I needed to speak with you further, I then pulled my vehicle behind you. And at that point, I would consider it a traffic stop.
All right. I don't have anything further, Your Honor.
Ms. Brooker, anything else?
No, Judge.
Yeah, you can be exempt from whatever you want to. Worcestershire cat, wash your sister cat. You can be exempt from whatever you want to. So yes. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, sorry. I just got lost in my own head there. I was trying to remember what we were talking about for why you brought that up, and then I just, do you guys ever have those moments where your brain just kind of trains and trails off to topic, and then you don't even remember what you were originally thinking of? Yeah, that just happened to me in real time. Okay, let's finish this one up. There's not that much time left. You guys are awesome.
All right, any further witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Franzek, did you wish to testify or call any witnesses?
Sure, I'd like to offer my testimony, Your Honor.
If you'd raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Well, Your Honor, this was a circumstance where I took my side-by-side out of my garage for the first time this year, and I use it as a utility vehicle. I have a hitch on it and a winch on it, and I don't ride trails. And so I was taking it to the gas station to get gas and to get a permit for this year. I explained that to the officer, and I understand that I would hope that there's some discretion. I was not on any trail. I actually was not even operating the vehicle. I was sitting in the road. And so he pulled over as he saw me sitting in the road. I was clearly not dressed as an RV operator in trail riding. I was simply going to get gas, and I just thought there could be a more reasonable exercise of discretion than to give me a $160 ticket while I'm on my way to get gas and to get a trail permit. So I respect that he's got to do his job, but I think there's probably different situations that he would encounter where there may be more of a need to emphasize caution and emphasize getting a proper permit. I was on my way to get a permit, in fact, so I was just kind of surprised by the ticket, and I'm arguing against the enforcement of the ticket and asking for some consideration.
Ms. Brooker.
There you go. I don't fully disagree with them, but you can't say you weren't operating it. It's like the officer didn't see me operating it. I was stationary. Yeah, how'd you get there, man? Were you pushing it? So you were operating it. You were on a road or a trail, and just because the officer didn't see you, they can use the assumption that you sitting in the driver's seat with the keys, you got there somehow. Just like you can get a DUI if you're not physically driving. You can if you're in the driver's seat. If the officer doesn't see you driving, you're in the driver's seat with the keys. There's the assumption that you're about to drive or you drove to get there. Sorry, man. But yeah, you should have drove your other a car or something to get your tag. Unless you have to physically take it to get a permit. If that's the case, that's kind of weird. I can't see that being the case because I don't think they would want side by sides driving on the road to get permits from. I'm guessing the Secretary of State. I'm guessing that's where you get them at, or the park place or whatever. I don't know. All right, I'm rambling now. I'm gonna let this play out, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you, Big and NKCC for the raids. You guys are awesome. I hope your guys' NFL team won. My team did not. My fantasy football team looks like they're gonna win those, so that's good. But yeah, you guys are awesome. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Well, tomorrow night's members only, so I will see you guys in court tomorrow. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Until next time, bye.
Any questions?
No, Judge.
All right. Mr. Franzek, any further witnesses?
No, I don't have any further witnesses, Judge.
All right. Ms. Brooker, argument?
Just as far as argument, Judge, this is a low-level civil infraction. As defendant said, it's a $160 ticket. I understand he doesn't have a record, but everyone is required to follow what these laws are and getting the licenses and permits they need. And when you own these ORVs, you're responsible for knowing what they are. It's not a more serious charge, Judge. So I'm just asking for the court to find him responsible.
All right. Mr. Franzek?
Well, I'm just asking for somebody to exercise some discretion because I don't think this is the kind of case to make a test case. In fact, I don't see that I was even operating it. I was on the road. The officer saw me. I was stopped completely, and he pulled over, questioned me, and I think he was a little bit confused because there were some people that were coming off a trail, and he asked if I was with them. I was sitting there for a long time. And I told him I was going to the gas station to get gas and a permit. So I just don't think it's a proper exercise of discretion, Your Honor. So I'm asking for it to be either dismissed or charge me with an attempt or something. I'm not comfortable with having to pay this kind of fine for the circumstances.
Right, well, I don't have the discretion to do an attempt. I mean, the officer can exercise discretion as he deems fit. These are just civil infractions, whether operated or not, you're in the vehicle. Like I say, it's a civil infraction, preponderance of the evidence. I will find you responsible. The fine is, as you noted, $160. Are you able to pay that today?
No, Your Honor, I'm gonna need some time.
Okay, all right. How much time?
30 days.
That's fine. Let me give you the number to call for that.